This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. John Langshaw Austin, a language philosopher, redefines the traditions involved in linguistics as a formal way of communication that fulfills different actions. He extensively discusses performative utterances compared with other forms of utterances like constative utterances. Applying performative statements leads to many failures, especially in marriage, constitution, baptism, or bedding activities, where it is common. However, the redefinition of existing rules can make the performative utterances fit as conscious statements and actions, thus making them accurate. On the other hand, constative utterances as a way of communication can cause one to judge an action as true or false. Definition and distinction of performative and constative utterances. Performative utterances are sentences or expressions that are neither true nor false but have felicitous effects. This happens because there is the assumption that the expression of an action is in the form of words that are explicit. Unfortunately, one can decide to utter the words or say a statement without conscience, hence not fulfilling the promise of the purported act. When this happens, the result is unhappiness, which heralds failure. The phenomenon of performative action comes into play during circumstances like making marriage vows, writing a will, naming babies during baptism, or in a betting game. Austin asserts that the purported action may be socially acceptable as true or false, hence describing performative action as senseless. For instance, in American law evidence, an account made by another person automatically becomes a testimony and not hearsay. On the contrary, the constative statement has a clear difference between the false and the true, hence, one can judge from them. On the other hand, the performative statement can be wrong in 3 different ways as opposed to the constative statement. For instance, the performative statement may be invalid if a legally unauthorized person performs it. Secondly, the performative utterance may be unacceptable if the persons involved do not intend to fulfill the action. Thirdly, performative utterance may be performed without bearing in mind the commitments involved, hence being null. These features distinguish performative and constative statements. An example of performative utterance using the 3I model. In the context of marriage as a social institution, the performative statement said to fulfill the action is I do, which fulfills the action of marrying. Analysis of this statement makes it the natural action of marriage. This clearly describes an agreement between all the participants to keep the promise. There is some element of subjectivity among the participants, including the priest administering the marriage vows. All of them have to undergo personal experience or emotional feelings during the process or citation of the statement. Suppose the performative statement I do is said incorrectly, or one is already married. In such situations, the marriage action is null. Additionally, if an illegal or unqualified person conducts the marriage, it is also subject to nullification. In summary, the 3I model, that is, institution, interpretation, and intersubjectivity, describes marriage vows as a performative utterance, as shown above. Conclusion. The performative utterance is distinct from the constative utterance in that it is neither true nor false. Due to this feature of performative statements, they are subject to abuse, hence not fulfilling the purported act. Despite the lack of truth that underlines performative statements, they occur in important life issues, like in marriage and during the presentation of evidence in courts. Did you like this performative and constative utterances sample? To get more works like this one, make sure to check out the free database of academic paper examples at ivypanda.com. You will find thousands of samples for all your study needs, without even having to register.